From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into The Horse's Mouth here. Tommy Max, of course, at my bar, and it's raising the bar with my good friend Alan Pickert from Terrell Hogan Law, and he's got a great guest with him. Brought to you by our good friends at YOLO Rum and, of course, Terrell Hogan Law, which makes a lot of sense, Alan being here. So let's welcome in Alan and his friend Crystal. How are you, Alan?
Hey, Tom. How
Great
are
to
you,
see you again, my man.
My friend.
How's it going?
Everything is going great. No complaints.
You said on an earlier segment that you've got like over 100 cases that you're working on. Do most attorneys is that a normal load for people, or is that like over the top? Or
no, that's definitely over the top.
It is.
That's
okay.
definitely over the top, and my wife would tell you that's definitely over the top.
Definitely over the top.
Yes,
Well, we're gonna have to change that, maybe.
So I mean, I'm a glutton for punishment.
There you go. You got a good friend here, Crystal Broughan. How are you?
I'm great.
Crystal
Thank
from
you.
Marks Gray. Great to have you.
Thank you.
How long have you been attorney for, Crystal?
33 years.
33 years.
Yeah.
Any specialty within the law, or what do you
I
work on?
specialize in intellectual property, such
IPs.
as trademarks, copyrights, domain name disputes, licensing agreements, all that kind of good stuff.
So those copyright, because I have things copyrighted that I created.
You're right.
Those hold a lot of water, a lot of weight when you have those done. Like whether it's a film, project, whatever it may be.
Yeah, it brings a great value to your bottom line. Okay. So if you look at, Kiss and Bruce Springsteen really did well in protecting their brands and all their copyrights and all their trademarks, and look at what they've sold for in the last couple of years, millions of dollars.
Right.
So if you're starting out your business and you protect your brand, you protect your creations, later on, it can be worth a lot.
I wonder how many people think of that early on. Like, do they, in your experience, are they thinking of it early, like to protect it, or do you kind of
some do. Yeah. Some are right out there out of the gate. They're like, I select a good brand, select a good trademark, get everything protected, get everything registered. Right. Some people understand that, all right, we've written this book and it's going to promote our business. Let's get a copyright on it.
Wow.
So I recently, the earliest I've had anybody want to get a copyright is I have a 12-year-old girl who's written a book, and her daddy is getting it published and helping her learn that process.
Wow.
And so we're getting a copyright registration for that book, and she says she's going to make it a series, so we're going to get a trademark registered for the series. So she's learning good entrepreneurial skills from a very early age, but that's the earliest I've ever encountered.
You do have to protect it, because you think, because I've gone through it. I mean, I always was given the advice, you got to get it copyrighted. Like, just do it. You never know what it can lead to, but you got to have that protection, because people will steal stuff. They'll take it from you without even thinking twice about it.
Right. All these trademarks all around this bar, all these beers and liquors, they're all great trademarks that have built great names, and they're registered trademarks. Right. And they all started off at some point in time in somebody's garage or backyard, and but those people recognize the value of protecting them and getting them registration.
How complicated of a process is it to, like, if someone, like you have a 12-year-old, but how, if someone said, hey, I want to copyright something, and gave you a call, I mean, how complicated is it? How long does it take? I mean, what does it involve?
It depends upon what it is.
Okay.
I mean, if we're talking about software code, it's going to take a while. It's a little more complicated. If you're talking about a painting, photographs, a book, sculptures, that type of thing, it's not that complex. Okay. You file with the U.S. Copyright Office to protect that creation. Yeah. So, but it really depends upon, if you've done a compilation of other people's stories and photographs and artwork from other people and put it in a book, it's a lot more complex.
So I wanted Crystal to be on to educate the viewers about that. And the reason I say that is, here I've been a lawyer for 34 years, and we messed up with in our own house. My wife had created a company called Healthy Life, and it was basically 3 pillars. It was about cardio. It was like eating right. It was like lifting weights. It was like you had to have a 3-legged stool. And it started off as something small, and she was a personal trainer, and it got bigger and bigger. And the next thing you know, she started doing merchandise and didn't think anything about it. And the next thing you know, she got a cease and desist letter from a company in Ohio that makes white bread called Healthy Life. I mean, white bread of all things. She's like, but we didn't know anything about it, and then they were like, hey, I mean, so it's something we should have explored a lot earlier, and so people should give that consideration.
And that's why I recommend all people who come to me who have a new idea, a new product, a new business name, let's do a trademark clearance search. Let's make sure nobody else has registered this name, nobody else is using this name in commerce in the same channels of commerce that you're in. So let's just make sure that that's not out there, because in the world of trademarks, it's who used it first, not who registered it.
So that was my next question. So first to market, is that a
trademarks, for trademarks, only on trademarks.
Only in trademarks.
Right. And so I've had people come to me who've been in business for 5 years and they want to register their trademark now, and there's somebody out in Oregon who's already selling something similar, and they've registered theirs. And they may have only registered it 6 years ago, but they have priority.
Because they were first.
Because they were
like the race to the courthouse.
Right.
So, I mean, and one of the things I think there's a misconception out there about copyright, trademark, and what you do is, that's really expensive, and that's when when you get big time. Then I'll go do that.
No.
And it's just the opposite, right?
It's cheaper to do it right up front than to not do it right. And then have to go hire somebody to get you out of the mess that you're in.
Yeah.
So
have you heard the story with it's with Lamar Jackson and Troy Aikman, the former Dallas Cowboy quarterback? They both wore number 8, and they're trying to trademark 8. And they're in a little battle between the two. And Lamar said something like, well, they're going to confuse his 8 with my 8. And I'm sitting there going, well, you're in Baltimore. You should think of Cal Ripken. He wore number 8 too, But that's got to be, like,
I imagine the USPTO won't let them register 8. Yeah, and they may, but...
Yeah, it was spelled out. I don't know if that matters, but it was spelled out 8.
But when you try to file with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, your trademarks, there's a whole list of reasons why you can't register things. And so... if there's a battle between, and it's going to cause confusion, and what they look at is the consumer's point of view, not you, but the consumer's point of view. Is the consumer going to be confused as to who is the source of that product or that service? So
well, someone
that's
could
what
be
they're
going for
talking
Lamar,
about.
but they're like, wait, this is Troy Aikman's deal. I thought it was right. That's so that you don't want that confusion. Wow, that keeps you busy. What a cool job you got.
It is. I get to interact with all kinds of different entrepreneurs. So I do software, protection of companies that do software. I do companies that brew beer. So restaurants and people who write books.
What about the craft beers with the names? Do they have to register all the names?
They should, but a lot of them don't.
And then they spend a lot of time on those names.
They do. And so your really smart breweries are going to register the trademarks for their beers. And same with the distilleries. They come up with a new whiskey or a bourbon, you're going to register that trademark for that
Crystal
name.
might be the coolest attorney you brought in.
I told you. Well, the bar's set low. The bar's set low with all the attorneys. Everywhere it's like, attorney show, great. But I thought it was really interesting. And like I said, I know firsthand. We thought, it's too expensive. And then when her business kind of started taking off, and more people, we were like, okay, well, maybe we should look into it. And then we still didn't do it. And then the next thing you know, we had a cease and desist, and she's 6 years into and she's now built this brand, and you're like...
Where I see it really benefit people is where they've started it from, very small, just them starting their own business, and it grows and it grows and it grows, and then they sell it for millions of dollars, and they have an inventory of all their copyrights, all their trademarks, all their patents, and that provides value to the bottom line for that company. And they're able to sell for more because they had their act together with their branding and protecting their creations from the very beginning.
All right, as we wrap up, have you ever done any work on like music, copyright, that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I know that's a big, like you mentioned Springsteen, like protecting
Well, I don't represent Springsteen.
No, I know you don't, but you mentioned but I know like Taylor Swift went through that whole thing to get her catalog. Like that's
right.
Wow,
No, there's been some local musicians that needed some help with getting copyright for their lyrics or for the music, and I've helped them with that.
All right.
Yeah.
Great to have you on the show,
Thank
Crystal.
you.
That's a cool job, man. That's a real cool job. Thanks, Alan.
Absolutely.
Alan came through, man. Finally. No, I'm just kidding. That was great. Always a great guest with Alan Pickert here on Raised in the Bar. Make sure you check out Alan and Crystal's profile. You'll check them out right there at the dailynewsnetwork.com website, where you'll see this conversation and so many others. So until next time, stay safe out there and be cool. And we'll see you right here. Make sure you copyright everything. Copyright everything. All right, we'll see you next time right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
Cheers.
Terrell Hogan Law is a collection of lawyers that help people solve problems in areas of their life they're not able to solve them themselves.
We are not individuals. We are purely a team. We work together for all of our clients.
We have the resources to win your case and win it to such a degree that you're going to be very happy with the results.